जय श्री श्री गुरु गंधार गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरण मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिष्मार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुगौर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ षाड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। जय श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। जय say once again. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai, Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Starting Mangala Charan. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ajanulambita bhujau kanakavadato sankirtanaikapitaro kamalayataksho vishvambaro dijavaro yugadharmapalo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jai 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 Vishwambhara Dvijaraj Jai Vishwambhara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaurachandra Jai Dharma Setu Mahadhir Jai Sankirtana Moy Sundar Sharir Jai Nityanandir Bandhava Dhana Pran Jai Gadadhar Advaitar Prema Dham Jai Shri Jagadananda Priya Atishoy Jai Vakreshwar Kashishwarir Hriday Jai Jai Shivasadi Priya Varganath Jiva Pratikora Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat Madhya-khaṇḍa katha jeno amriter khanda je katha shunile ghuche antar pashanda. Madhya-khaṇḍa katha vai shuno ek chitte sankirtana aramba hoilo jeno mate. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina. Itti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्ग मध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya Charitamrita. Ore muro lok shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Beshakal, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Das Koilo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahar Shabane Nashi Sarvaya Mangal, Chaitanya Nitar Jate Jani e Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Jato Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Likhiachen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar, Chaitanya Mangal Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan, Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Tatakhon, Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya, Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar, Aiche Granta Kori Teho Tarila Sangsar, Narayani Chaitanya Uchishta Bhajan, तार गर्भे जन्मिला दास वृंदावन तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन जहाँ रसवने शुद्ध कोयल त्रिभुवन असहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृते धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai. Jai the Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat Pranam. Let's see, who's here. Hare Krishna, Shubhananda Prabhu, Subhadra Didi, Krishna Mai Didi, and Madhusudan Prabhu, and Raseshwari Mataji. Hare Krishna, everybody. All right, so we are continuing on with our reading of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 23. Wandering about Navadvīpa on the day the Lord delivered the Kazi. So I will read this summary by Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, and then we will begin our reading. This chapter describes Sriman Mahaprabhu's enjoyment of nightly Sankirtan with his devotees. A milk-drinking brahmachari's request to Srivas to see the Sankirtan dancing, Śrī Srivasa's bringing him to his house, the Lord's anger, the Lord's explanation on the insignificance of useless austerity, the Lord's mercy on the milk-drinking brahmachari, the Lord's instruction to the inhabitants of Navadvīpa to chant the Mahamantra, the breaking of the mridanga by the Kazi, the Lord's resultant anger, and the procession to subdue the Kazi, the Hari Kirtan throughout the villages of Navadvīpa, the auspicious welcome at every house, and the showering of flowers by the demigods, the inhabitants' ecstatic festival, the atheists' envy, the Lord's instructions to subdue the Kazi, the Lord's neglect of the Kazi on the request of the devotees, the Lord's visits to the villages of the conch shell merchants and weavers, the Lord's visits to the house of Śrīdhar, his drinking water from Śrīdhar's broken iron water pot, and narrations of the devotees' glories. When Sriman Mahaprabhu engaged in enjoying Sankirtan pastimes every night within the closed doors of Srivasa's house, the atheists who were unable to enter would complain with harsh words from a distance. Some pious people condemned their fortune and requested the devotees to let them see the Sankirtan. But out of fear of the Lord, no devotee dared do so. No devotees dared do so. One day, a milk-drinking brahmachari requested Srivas to allow him to secretly watch the Lord's kirtan pastimes. Understanding that he was a brahmachari who subsisted on foods in the mode of goodness, Srivas brought him into his house. According to Srivas's plan, the Brahmin remains there in secret. But while performing kirtan, the Lord, who is the super soul of all, said, "I am not feeling any ecstasy in the kirtan today. Perhaps a materialistic person has entered the house." Srivas fearfully informs the Lord that since a milk-drinking brahmachari had requested to see the kirtan, he had allowed him to secretly remain in the house. On hearing this, the Lord angrily said that without surrendering to Krishna, no one can achieve devotional service to Krishna simply by undergoing useless austerity. He therefore ordered that the Brahmin should leave the house. The Brahmin then left the house out of fear and began to appreciate his good fortune of having received a short darshan. At that time, and he said that it's, this is this is a good thing I got this punishment. I deserve this punishment. He had that mood. And so then at that time, the most merciful Sri Gaurasundar called him back. And after placing his lotus feet on the Brahman's head, he prohibited him from becoming proud of us. God, I don't know. I can't read all this. He prohibited him from becoming proud of his austerities. Since the Lord performed Sankirtan behind closed doors, the pious inhabitants were unable to see the Lord's Sankirtan pastimes. They therefore condemned the atheists and declared that the Lord performed kirtan behind closed doors because of the atheists, and as a result, pious people were also unable to enter. To see the Lord, some people stood on the road in front of Srivasa's house. So now all these pious devotees in Navadvīpa who wanted to have darshan of the Lord but were unable, we're going to read soon that their desire was fulfilled in this chapter. Finally, everybody's going to be able to see the Lord dancing. During the day, the pious inhabitants went to see the Lord with various gifts. When they offered obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord, Śrī Caitanya-dev blessed them with the words, "May you all attain devotional service to Krishna," and instructed them to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And I think I mentioned already, but I prepared those verses from this section, and I only took 3 verses from this section right here, and then I took some from other sections as well, and we're going to add that. I translated them, and we're going to add that into the Gaudiya Giti Gucha, this exact part right here, so that we can These instructions that Mahaprabhu gave those inhabitants, we'll be able to sing them also on when we do Nagar Sankirtan or anything like that. They'll be in this. Haribol Sudevi Didi and Vidya Lalasa Didi. Oh, and Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Machi. One second. Let me just right now I can't see who joins. Just it's an annoying thing. For some reason, this video panel thing keeps on closing automatically now. I don't know why it is doing that. Hey, view, show video panel. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so Mahaprabhu instructed them all to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Every evening, the inhabitants engaged in performing Sankirtan with kartals. In this way, by the mercy of the Lord, the entire city began to perform kirtan. When the Lord, but only those very special, most intimate devotees were able to go for the nightly kirtan in Srivas Pandit's house, even though so many of the other pious residents were performing kirtan on the instruction of Mahaprabhu. So when the Lord, who enacted the pastime of offering all respects to others without expecting any respect for himself, went to all the inhabitants with a straw between his teeth, and after embracing them, humbly requested them to chant. They cried and took shelter of the devotional service of kirtan in response to the Lord's heartfelt request. When they all engaged in the performance of Sankirtan with with instruments like mridangas and conch shells, the materialists considered their engagement equal to their own performance of Toryatrika. And there's a note from the editors. It says, according to Monier Williams, the Sanskrit English dictionary, Toryatrika means a triple symphony of song, dance, and musical instruments. Yes, and our acharyas have condemned this Toryatrika many times. There's a letter by Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj where he's talking about this, things by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. I think Gurudev also mentions it, Srila Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, yeah. So, yeah. And so the materialists considered their engagement equal to their own performance of Toryatrika and an untimely invocation in the worship of Mahamaya. And so they denounced them with various harsh words. Okay. One day, by the will of Providence, the infidel Kazi heard the sound of the kirtan as he was walking on the road. After beating some of the participants and breaking a mridanga, he prohibited further kirtan and promised more severe punishment for those who again engaged in chanting. When the Kazi, with his sinful associates, wandered about the city and prohibited further kirtan, the atheists became jubilant. In their jubilation, they began to ridicule the devotees in various ways. When the town residents were prevented from attaining kirtan bliss, they informed the Lord of what had taken place and told him of their plans to depart from there in distress. The Lord roared loudly in anger, and he ordered all the inhabitants to each bring a lamp and accompany him for the purpose of subduing the Kazi. This order was announced everywhere. Hundreds of thousands of people with hundreds of thousands of burning lamps gathered before the Lord. The Lord then arranged separate kirtan groups, and they all began to proceed down the road by the bank of the Ganga. Wherever the Lord went in the course of the procession, everyone, including women, children, and elders, left their respective household duties and fell flat at the lotus feet of the Lord. On seeing everyone intoxicated with ecstatic love for Krishna, the hearts of the atheists began to burn with envy. They thought, if the Kazi comes now, their kirtan bliss will burn to ashes. Eventually, Sri Gaurachandra began to proceed towards the Kazi's house. So this is where we're reading up to today. Maybe we should just continue on from this point, and we'll read this one last time tomorrow, this summary. And we'll finish the chapter tomorrow. Actually, we don't have that. We won't be reading that much tomorrow. Today we're reading 6,000 words, and tomorrow we'll only be reading 4,000, I think. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. What number? 316. Okay, so let me just go back a few verses, not too far. So it describes the, okay. Okay, so we read that we sing that beautiful song. Oh, that was so much fun. I love that beautiful, beautiful description of Mahaprabhu's beauty and the kirtan. No one could, I'm just reading the last verses, but yeah, it was kind of long, that song. Very beautiful song. No one could count the wampers, mridangas, kartals, and conch shells that were vibrated. The best of the Brahmins danced amidst the tumultuous vibration of Hari's names. All glories to the Sankirtan procession. All glories to the dancing of Vishwambar. All glories to the 20 verses that describe the characteristics of Lord Chaitanya. That refers to the song that we sang. So I guess it was 20 verses, that song. All glories to the servants of Lord Chaitanya. In whatever direction Lord Vishwambar glanced, everyone floated in the waves of ecstatic love. I, Vrindavan Das Thakur, sing the glories of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And this way, the Lord of all joyfully performed kirtan in all the towns of Navadvīpa. The uninterrupted sounds of everyone chanting the names of Hari penetrated the universe and entered Vaikuntha. On hearing that vibration, Sri Gaurasundar, the Lord of Vaikuntha, jumped high in ecstasy. The waves of the Lord's ecstasy could overcome a maddened lion. On seeing that manifestation, everyone's happiness increased. Lord Gauranga first danced along the path of the bank of the Ganga in Nadia. After first dancing for a long time at his own ghat, Gaur Hari proceeded to Madhai's ghat. After passing by Barakona ghat and Nagariya ghat, he went through Ganga Nagar to Simolia. Millions of large torches burned in the four directions, and millions of people chanted the name of Hari in the four directions. The entire scene looked most wonderful in the moon rays. No one could tell whether it was day or night. At every doorstep, there were auspicious items like bananas, clay pots filled with water, mango twigs, and ghee lamps. The demigod showered champak and malika flowers from the sky. The flowers that were showered on Navadvīpa appeared like the tongue of Mother Earth. Understanding that the Lord's lotus feet were most tender, the goddess extended her tongue in the form of those flowers. Srivas, Advaita, and Haridas danced in front, while Gaurachandra danced behind them with his associates. As soon as Gauranga entered a different neighborhood, everyone left their household duties and came running. So the kirtan procession must have started to increase, got larger and larger throughout every neighborhood that they went through, because everybody started joining. On seeing the moon-like face of the Lord, who is the life and soul of the world, everyone fell to the ground to offer obeisances. The ladies forgot their husbands, children's, homes, and wealth, and made auspicious sounds and chanted the name of Hari. Millions and millions of Nadia residents all became intoxicated in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. Some danced, some sang, and some chanted the name of Hari, while some forgot themselves and rolled on the ground. 1 second, I'm just making sure the mic is plugged in. It is. Okay. Some made noises like various musical instruments with their mouths. That's so neat. I would love to hear that. People making sounds of musical instruments with their mouths. I've watched actually lots of, I got into that before, like kind of like a cappella thing, but yeah, it's a whole genre of yeah, making music with your mouth. I mean, making musical instrument sounds with their mouth. It's actually crazy what people can do with their mouths. And some climbed on others' shoulders in ecstasy. Some grabbed others' feet and cried, and some tied others' feet with their hair. I do not understand this one at all. How do you tie others' feet with their hair? Anyways, that one's a bit of a mystery for me. Very interesting though. Keho karo choron apana keshe bande. Okay. Um, okay. This is the last verse that we ended up with yesterday. Some offered obeisances at the feet of others, and some embraced others. Now, this section here is kind of it's almost it looks just like when Krishna left when Krishna left the rasa dance and all the gopis became completely mad in separation from Krishna, and they started to think that I am Krishna and I am doing this and like that. Seems like the same thing here. Look, Keho bole mui e nimai pandita jagata uddhar lagi hoino vidita. Someone said, I am Nimai Pandit. I have advented to deliver the world. Keho bole ami Shweta Dviper Vaishnav. Keho bole ami Vaikunther Parishad. Someone else said, I am a Vaishnav from Shweta Dvip. Another person said, I am an associate of the Lord from Vaikuntha. Keho bole ebe kaji beta gelo kotha lagali paile aji churna koro mata. Someone said, where is the Kazi now? If I catch him, I'll smash his head. Pashandi dhorite keho, rara diya jai. Dharo, dharo, e papa pashandi polai. Someone ran to catch the atheist, exclaiming, catch him! There goes a sinful atheist running away. Briksher upare giya keho keho chore. Shuke puna puna giya lafa diya pore. In their happiness, some people repeatedly climbed up a tree and jumped to the ground. Ashandire krodokori keho bhange dalo, keho vole ei mui pashandir kalo. Expressing their anger, some broke tree branches and some said, I am death personified for the atheists. Alokika shabda keho ucha kori bole, Yamaraja bandiya anite keho chale. Someone made some loud, unnatural sounds, and someone went to arrest Yamaraj and bring him there. Yamaraj, who's in charge of, giving all every jiva their punishments and like their dues and all that, they tried to punish him. Wow. Okay. সেখানে থাকি বলে আরে ইয়ামাদূত বলো গিয়া যথা আছে তোর সূর্য সুত বৈকুণ্ঠ নায়ক অবতারি সাচি ঘরে আপনি কীর্তন করে নগরে নগরে. Standing there, he said, Oh, Yamadutas, go and inform your master, the son of Surya, Yamaraj, that the Lord of Vaikuntha has incarnated in the house of Shachi, and he is personally performing kirtan throughout the city of Navadvīpa. Jai nama prabhavitor dharma raja jama, Jai name torilo ajamila vipradhama. By the influence of the holy names, Yama became renowned as Dharmaraj, the authority on religious principles. By the influence of the holy names, the fallen Brahman Ajamil was delivered. Gaudiya Bhashya. Simply by the influence of the name of Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Simply by the influence of the name of Hari, Yamaraj was designated Dharmaraj. Simply by the influence of Namabhas, the fallen Brahman Ajamil was delivered from the hands of Yamaraj. In other words, Yamaraj released Ajamil because he engaged in Namabhas. Heno naam sarvamukhe Prabhu bolaila, ucharane shakti nahi she taha shunila. The Lord is now inducing everyone to chant those holy names, and those who are unable to chant are hearing those names. Prani matra kare jadi kore adhikar, mor dosha nahi tabe koribo sanghar. So, if Yama attempts to display his authority by punishing any living entities, then I cannot be blamed when I destroy him. Jata koho giya jatha, ache chitra gupta, papir likhana shab, jata koro lupta. Go quickly and inform Chitragupta that he should immediately destroy the records of the sinners. Gaudiya Bhashya. There are 14 yamas. Chitragupta is one of them. He is entrusted with the duty of recording the sinful and pious activities of the human beings. Someone intoxicated by chanting the Lord's names is saying that whatever Chitragupta Yama has recorded about the sinful human beings should now, by the influence of chanting the holy names, be wiped clean. Jai Nama Prabhave Tirtha Raja Varanasi, Jaha Gaya Shuddha Sattva Shvetadvipa Vasi. By the influence of these names, Varanasi has become celebrated as the king of holy places. The transcendentally situated residents of Shvetadvip chants these holy names. Gaudiya Bhashya. The five-headed Mahadev resides in Varanasi and chants the holy names of the Lord. Therefore, Varanasi is a primary tirtha, or a primary place of learning. The transcendentally situated associates of the Supreme Lord residing in Shvetadvip remain free from the three modes of material nature by singing the glories of the holy names. Sarva Bandhya Maheshwar Jai Nama Prabhave Heno Nam Sarva Loke Shune Bole Ebe. Maheshwar has become worshipable by all by the influence of these names. Now everyone is hearing and chanting these holy names. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahadev is worshipable by all the demigods. Demigods and human beings chant the holy names after hearing them from Mahadev. The Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, which comes from Rudra, its original founder, was inaugurated 200 years before the advent of Christ in the province of Madura. In that line appeared Lakshmidhar, the author of Nam Komudi, and his brother Śrīdhar Swamipad, whose compositions are based on Shuddha-dvaita philosophy. Both describe the glories of the holy names in their writings. Srila Sanatana Goswami Prabhu has glorified the book Sri Nama Komudi. The descendants of Premakar and others, according to Sundarananda Vidya Vinod and Achinta Bheda Bhedavad, page 105, Lakshman Bhatta, the father of Vallabhacharya, was a disciple of Premakar Muni. Interesting. I have questions about this. I'm going to ask Shrivas. Anyways, sorry. The descendants of Premakar and other family gurus of Vallabhacharya did not realize the inconceivable glories of the holy names. Sorry, I just want to quickly ask Shrivas. Let me put it on the other screen so you don't see. Just came across this in our reading. Okay. Heno nam lo charo sarva apakar bhaja vishwambara nahe korimu sanghar. So wait. Yeah, so these devotees intoxicated by the holy name, they're saying, chant these holy names, give up all wicked activities, and worship Vishwambar. Otherwise, I will destroy you. Chant or die. Gaudiya Bhashya. Simply by giving up the desire for engaging in any type of harmful activity, one develops a propensity for chanting the Lord's holy names. As maintainer of the entire world, Vishwambar Gaurasundar has maintained the entire world by distributing the holy names. Śrī Gaurasundar and his intimate servant Dharmaraj are eager to completely destroy the sinful conceptions of those who are opposed to chanting the holy names. Yes. They don't want to punish those who are opposed to chanting the holy names. They want to destroy their sinful conceptions. Okay, so this was in Arjana Shavadishe Rada Diya Jai Dharo Dharo Kota Kaji Bandiya Polai. Some people ran around in all directions calling, "Catch the Kazi! He has tricked us and escaped somewhere." Gaudiya Bhashya. The word bandiya means deceitfully. Hari Bol, Hari Priya Didi. Oh, and Champak Mataji, Hare Krishna. Krishner Kirtana JJ Papi Nahi Mane Kotha Gelo Sheshakala Pashandi Ekhone. Now, where are those sinful atheists who did not accept the chanting of Krishna's names? Gaudiya Bhashya. When sinful people's aversion to the Supreme Lord becomes prominent, they are unwilling to accept the remedy of Krishna Kirtan. Since people opposed to Kirtan equates the subordinate demigods with the Supreme Lord, they are called Pashandis. It is the nature of Pashandis to count the names of the subordinate demigods as equal to Krishna Kirtan. The names of Krishna are spiritual names, while the names of the demigods are mundane. There is a difference between the names of the demigods and the demigods themselves. Therefore, the endeavor to equate Krishna's name with the demigods' names, which are separate from Krishna's names, is one of the 10 offenses in the chanting the holy names. Matite kilai keho pashandi bolia, hari bole bule puna hunkar koria. Some of them punched the ground while calling out the name of some atheists. Then they roared loudly and wandered about chanting the name of Hari. E mata Krishner unmade sarvakhan, kiba bole kiba kore nahi ko smaran. In this way, being always maddened with the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, they did not remember what they said or what they did. Nagariya shakaler unmada dekhiya, moraye pashandi shab jwaliya puriya. As the atheists saw the maddened condition of the townspeople, they burned with envy. Gaudiya Bhashya. The atheists, who maintains the mentality of opposing the process of worshiping and chanting the holy names, always burned with envy and invoked one of the 10 types of death. To extinguish the fire in their bodies, they enviously became hostile to the devotees. Shakal pashandi meli gane mane mane, goshai koren kaji aishe ekone. The atheists all simultaneously desired, if the Lord is willing, let the Kazi come now. Oh yeah, if the Lord is willing, let the Kazi come now. Kota jai ranga dhanga, kota jai dako, kota jai nata gita, kota jai janko. Then what will happen to all this pomp and fun? What will happen to the loud screaming? And what will happen to the dancing and singing? And what will happen to their big show? Kota jai kola ponta, ghata amrasar, e shakal vachaner shodita vedhar. Then what will happen to their banana trees, water pots, and mango leaves? Then they will receive a suitable reward for their threats. Jata deko mahatap, deuti shakal, jata deko herosab, bhavaka mandal. The Kazi will see all these big torches, and he will see all these sentimental devotees. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word deuti means lamp. গন্ডগোল শুনিয়া আইসে কাজী যাবে, সবার গঙ্গায় ঝাঁপ দেখি বাঁয় তবে. The Kazi will also hear the great commotion, and then he will see all the devotees jump into the Ganga. কেহ বলে মুই তবে নিকটে থাকিয়া, নগরিয়া সব দেয়া গলায় বাঁধিয়া. Someone else said, then I will stay around and bind all those fellows by the neck and turn them in. কেহ বলে চলো যায় কাজিরে কহিতে, কেহ বলে যুক্তি নহে এমন করিতে. Another said, let us go and inform the Kazi. Someone else said, that is not very reasonable. কেহ বলে ভাই সব এক যুক্তি আছে, সবে রড দিয়া যায় ভাবকের কাছে. Someone said, oh brothers, I have an idea. Let us quickly approach those sentimental devotees. আইসে করিয়া কাজী বচনা তোলায়, তবে একজনা ও না রহিব তার ঠাঁই. We will tell them, the Kazi is coming. Then not even a single person will remain here. এই মতো পসন্দি আপন খায় মনে, চৈতন্যের গণমত শ্রীহরি কীর্তনে. In this way, the atheists conspired among themselves, while Lord Chaitanya's associates became maddened by chanting the glories of Lord Hari. Had no effect on the devotees chanting. Sabar angete shobe Shri Chandana Mala, Anande gayen Krishna shabe hoy bhola. Hey, this is similar to a verse in the 8th chapter. Actually, exactly the same as a verse in the 8th chapter during the Ekadashi. Wait, no, I think the 8th chapter, it's all the same except Anande Gayena Krishna Rase Hoy Bhola. I think it says Rase instead of Sabe. They were all decorated with sandalwood pulp and flower garlands. In ecstasy, they all chanted the name of Krishna. Nadiyar ekante nagarash simulia, nachite nachite Prabhu uttari lagia. As the Lord danced down the road, he came to the village of Simulia, which was situated on the outskirts of Nadia. Gaudiya Bhashya. The village of Simulia, situated less than a mile northeast of Ganganagar, was located on the outskirts of Nadia. Ananta arbuda mukhe haridvani shuni, hunkar koriya nache dvija kulamani. Unlimited millions of people chanted the name of Hari as the crest jewel of the Brahmins danced and roared loudly. She kamala nayane ba koto ache jal, koteka ba dhara bohe parama nirmal. Who knows how much pure water and how many streams flowed from the eyes of the Lord? Wow. How much pure water and how many streams flowed from the eyes of the Lord. Wow. Kampa bhave uthe pore antariksha hoite, kande nityananda prabhu na pare dhorite. Shivering in ecstasy, the Lord jumped high in the air and then fell down. Nityananda lamented because he could not support the Lord. Sheshe baje hoy murcha ananda sahita, prahare ko dhatu nahi sabe chamakita. Eventually, the Lord fell unconscious in ecstasy, and everyone became shocked when his body showed no signs of life for 3 hours. E mata apurva dekhiya sarvajan, sabe bolen e Purush Narayan. On seeing such wonderful characteristics, they all concluded, this personality must be Lord Narayan. Keho bole Narada, Pralada Shuka Jeno, Keho bole Je Sheho, Manusha Naheno. Some people said, he is like Narad, Pralad, or Shukadev. Others said, Whoever he may be, he is certainly not an ordinary human. E mata bole jeno jar anubhav, atyanta tarkika bole parama Vaishnav. Some people spoke in this way according to their realization. The staunch logician said, he is a great Vaishnav. Bahyanahi prabhur parama bhakti rase, bahutuli hari bolo ghoshe. The Lord was devoid of external consciousness in the topmost mellows of devotional service, as he raised his arms and chanted, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Shri Mukher Vachan, Shuniya Eke Bare, Sarva Loke, Hari Hari Bole Uchai Sware. Simply by hearing once from the lotus mouth of the Lord, everyone loudly chanted, Hari, Hari. Gauranga Sundar Jai, Je Dige Nachia, She Dige Sarvaloka Cholaye Dhaiya. Everyone followed behind Gaurasundar in whichever direction he danced. Kajir Badir Pata, Dhorila Thakur, Badya Kola Holo Kaji Shunaye, Shunoye Prachur. As the Lord approached the Kazi's house, the Kazi heard the loud vibration of the musical instruments. Gaudiya Bhashya. There is a road from the village of Simulia to the present-day Vamanpukur, where the original house of Kazi was situated, and is situated even now. Kaji bole shuno bhai, ki gita badan, kiva kar viva kiva bhuter kirtan. The Kazi said, listen, brothers, what is that singing and music? Is it someone's marriage, or is it the kirtan of some ghostly beings? Mor bolo langhiya ke kore hinduani, jata jani ao tabe cholibo apani. Go quickly and see who is transgressing my order by following the Hindu rituals. Then I will go myself. Gaudiya Bhashya. On hearing the sounds of Sri Gaurasundar's kirtan party, the Kazi sent some people to investigate. He thought that the sound was coming from a marriage party or some joyful party. He said, I have issued an order to stop the Hindus' kirtan. If anyone has transgressed my order and engaged in the Hindus' kirtan, then as soon as I receive such news, I will go myself to stop it. Kajir adeshe tabe anuchar dhai, sanghata dekhiya apanara shastra gai. The Kazi's servants ran off after receiving his order. When they saw the huge gathering, they remembered their scriptures. Ananta arbhuda loke bole kaji maro, dore polailo tabe kajir kinkara. Unlimited millions of people were shouting, kill the Kazi, Kaji maro. Hearing this, the Kazi's servants ran away in fear. Raudadia kajire kohilo jhatagia, ki koro chaloho jhat jai polaiya. They ran quickly and told the Kazi, what can you do? Let us quickly run away. Koti koti lok shange nimai acharya sajia aise aji kiva kore karja. Millions and millions of people are coming this way with Nimai Acharya. They are fully prepared. Who knows what they'll do today? Lakhe lakhe mahatab deepa sab jwale lakakoti lokameli Hinduani bole. Millions of people are chanting the names of the Hindu gods while carrying hundreds of thousands of large burning torches. Duare duare kola, khata amrasar, pushpamoy patashab dekhi nadiyar. We saw bananas, water pots, and mango leaves at every doorstep, and the streets of Nadia were covered with flowers. Na jani kote ko koi, kori phul pore, bhajana shunite dui shravana upare. We could not even imagine how much puffed rice and curry, small conchals. I don't understand this curry. Anyways, how many curry were being showered. Our ears were almost shattered from the sounds of musical instruments. Henomata nadiyar nagare nagare. Raja asite o keho emona nakore. There is not such an arrangement in the villages of Nadia, even when the king comes. Sava bhavaker poro, nimai pandita, shobe chale she nachia jai jai bhita. Nimai Pandit is the leader of those sentimental devotees. In whichever direction he dances, everyone follows. Jai Shakal Nagariya Marilo Amra. Aji Kaji Maro Boli Aishe Tahara. The same townspeople that we once beat, they are now shouting, "Today we will kill the Kazi." Eko Jai Hunkar Kore Nimai Acharya. She Hindur Bhuta E Tahara Karja. This Nimai Pandit is making all this propaganda. This Hindu prophet is doing all this. Keho bole e Vamana, eto kande keno, Vamaner dui choke nadi vahe jeno. One of them said, I can't understand why this Brahmin cries so much. It appears as if a river is flowing from his two eyes. Keho bole Vamaner, ke ache kotai, she dukhe kande heno buji je shadai. Another said, I think this Brahmin must be missing someone. Therefore, he always cries in distress. Keho bole Vamana dekhite lage bhoy, gilite aishe jeno dekhi, sorry, gilite aishe jeno dekhi kampa hoy. Someone else said, this Brahmin looks frightening. I tremble on seeing that. I tremble on seeing his form that appears ready to devour everything. Kaji bole heno buji nimai pandita. Biha kori bare ba cholila kona bhita. The Kazi said, I think Nimai Pandit is going somewhere to get married. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word biha means marriage. Eba nahe mor langhi hinduani kore, tobe jati nimo aji shobar nagare. If they have transgressed my order by engaging in Hindu rituals, I will take away the caste of everyone in town, the Kazi said. E mata jukti kaji kore sarva gane, mahabadya kola holo shuni toto khane. As the Kazi was planning in this way, he suddenly heard the tumultuous sound of the kirtan. Sarvaloka Chudamani Prabhu Vishwambar, Aila Nachia Jatha Kajir Nagar. Lord Vishwambar, the crest jewel of all, came dancing within the Kazi's neighborhood. They're getting close. Koti Koti Haridwani Mahakola Holo, Swarga Martya Pataladi, Purilo Shakal. The tumultuous sound of millions of people chanting the names of Hari permeated the entire atmosphere, including Swarga, Martya, and Patalokas. That means all the 14 planets. I mean, the 14 realms, like up and down. Shuniya Kampita Kaji Gana Shahadai. Sarva Bhai Sarpa Bhoy Jeno Bheka Indur Palai. On hearing that sound, the Kazi trembled and ran away with his servants like a frog or a mouse runs away in fear of a snake. Idur is a rat. Purilo Shakal Stan Vishwambar Gane Bhoy Polaite Keho Dig Nahi Jane. Yet, in their fear, they didn't know which way to run because the entire area was filled with Vishwambar's associates. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Matar pelia paga ke hoshe mele. Alakite nachaye antare prana hole. Some of them took off their turbans and joined the kirtan. We're one of them. They're trying to pretend they're one of the devotees. As they danced incognito, they trembled in fear. That's so great. Oh my God, this is so much fun. Okay. Jar dari ache she, hoya adho muka, laje mata nahi tole tore hale buka. Those who had beards hung their heads down. They were too embarrassed to raise their heads, and their hearts trembled in fear. Ananta arbuda lok keba kare chine, apanar deho matra keho nahi jane. None of the unlimited millions of people could recognize any of them. Those people were not even conscious of their own bodies. Lucky for them. Lucky for the Muslims. I mean, for those, associates of the Kazi. Shabe nachin shabe gayen kotuke, Brahmanda puriya hari bole sarvaloke. Everyone danced and sang in ecstasy. Their chanting of Hari's names filled the entire universe. Asiya kajir dware Prabhu Vishwambar, Krodaveshe hunkar korore bahutar. When Lord Vishwambar came to the Kazi's house, he roared loudly in anger. Krode bole Prabhu are kaji beta kota, jata ana dhoriya katia phelo mata. In that angry state, the Lord said, "Where is that fellow Kazi? Bring him here quickly, and I'll cut off his head." I don't think fellow is the right word here. But yeah, it's beta. So, anyways, bring him here quickly and I'll cut off his head. Katia, cut and cut. Katia, cut. Similar word. Fellow mata. Fellow means throw. I'll throw his head. I mean, katia pela is I think a verb, whatever you call it. 100th verb. Niryavana karon aji shakal bhuvan, purve jeno bada koino she kala yavan. Today I will rid the entire world of Yavanas, just as I previously killed Kal Yavan. Pranaloya kota kaji gelo diya dwar. Dwar bhango, bhango Prabhu, bole bar bar. Where can the Kazi go to save his life? The Lord, where can the Kazi go to save his life? The Lord then repeatedly ordered, break his house, God, bhango, bhango. Sarvabhuta antaryami Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Agya langhi bekaheno ache kon jan. The son of Shachi is the super soul in the heart of all living entities. Who is capable of transgressing his order? Mahamatta sarvaloka chaitanya rase ghare uthilen shabe prabhur adeshe. Everyone was greatly intoxicated with ecstatic love for Lord Chaitanya. On his order, they entered the house. Keho gar bhange keho bhange na duar. Keho lati mare keho koroe hunkar. Some tore apart the rooms, some broke down the doors, some kicked the house, and some roared loudly. Amra panaser dala bhangi keho phele, keho koralir bana bhangi hari bole. Some broke the branches of the mango and jackfruit trees, and some uprooted the banana trees while chanting the name of Hari. Pushpa udayena lakha lakha loka giya. Up, what's the u there? Oh yeah, upadiya. No, I don't know. Upadiya fele shab hunkar korea. Okay, upare. Yeah, upare machinde tar. So upara means to uproot. Hundreds of thousands of people entered the flower garden and uprooted all the plants while roaring loudly. Pushper sahita dala chindiya chindiya hari boli nache shab shruti mule diya. They tore the flowers with their stems from the uprooted plants and tucked them behind their ears while chanting the name of Hari. Oh my God. Ekoti koria patra sarvaloke nite, kichunaro hilo ar kajir barite. Even if everyone there took just one leaf, there would have not been any left in the Kazi's house. Bhangilen jata sab bahirer ghar, Prabhu bole agni deho barir bhitor. When the outside of the Kazi's house was broken, the Lord ordered, burn the inside of the house. Oh my God. This is so, this is, I loved like the devotees are doing kirtan and chanting in ecstasy and putting flowers behind their ears and doing all that. And at the same time, like breaking doors down, kicking the house, roaring and like doing, it's like two extremes, two. And now the Lord's saying, Agni deho badir bhitor, burn the inside of the house. Huriya maruk shab ganer sahite, sarva badi veri agni deho chari bhite. Let the Kazi burn to death along with his associates, surround the house, and set it on fire from all sides. Dekho more ki kore uhar narapati, dekho aji kon jane kore avyahati. Let me see what his king can do to save me. Let me see who saves the Kazi today. Jamakala mritu mor seva ker das, mor drishti pate hoy sabar prakash. Yamaraj, time and death are the servants of my servants. Everything is manifested simply by my glance. Sankirtana arambe mohar avatar, kirtana virodi papi korimo sanghar, sarva pataki ojadi koroye kirtan, abashyata hare mui korimu smaran, tapasvi sannyasi gyani jogi je jan, sangharimu jadi shab na kore kirtan. I have incarnated to inaugurate the Sankirtan movement. I will destroy those sinners who are inimical to kirtan. If even the most sinful person chants the holy names, I will certainly remember him. But if even ascetics, sannyasis, jnanis, and yogis do not engage in kirtan, I will destroy them. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahāprabhu, the inaugurator of the Sankirtan movement, said he would annihilate meditators attached to solitary places and averse to kirtan. If any sinful living entity engages in kirtan, then the Supreme Lord will certainly remember him. Although sannyasis detached from material enjoyment engaged in austerities and were opposed to kirtan, Although sannyasis detached from material enjoyment engage in austerities and opposed to kirtan, jnanis, desirous of liberation, and yogis, desirous of attaining the association of the Lord, are accepted by ordinary people as pious saintly persons. If they do not engage in loudly chanting the holy names of the Lord, Mahāprabhu is prepared to destroy even them. In his commentary on the 7th canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Sri Jiva Goswami Prabhu has written, Yadyapyanya bhakti kalo kartavya, tada kirtanakya bhakti samyogenaiva kartavya. This is a famous thing. This is quoted all the time. This comment, Parm Gurudev quotes it, and I've seen it a few places. All other processes of devotional service should be performed in Kali Yuga. Although other processes of devotional service may be performed, I don't think should be. Okay, should be performed in Kali Yuga. They must all be accompanied by the chanting of the holy names. Yeah, I think it should, yeah. By neglecting kirtan, there cannot be any devotional service. So yeah, we may perform any other limb of bhakti, but they all must be accompanied by kirtanakya bhakti. Bhakti characterized by kirtan. In the worlds in which we presently live, there is no glorification of topics related to Hari. That is why Vishwambar, the benefactor of all living entities, has instructed us to engage in all types of service to the Supreme Lord, accompanied by Hari Kirtan. While chanting the holy names, any activity other than the service of the transcendental names is simply the result of aversion to the Supreme Lord. There is no possibility of attaining devotional service by such activities. All processes for attaining the goal of life that are aimed at extraneous desires, karma or gyan, can never be called unalloyed devotional service. Any topics of spiritual cultivation that do not oppose the devotional service known as kirtan should be regarded as accessories to kirtan. Anything that doesn't oppose devotional service, that does not oppose any form of bhakti that doesn't oppose kirtan, should be regarded as accessories to kirtan. So everything is the servant of kirtan. Kirtan is the main thing. Everything else is just meant to help our kirtan. That's an interesting point. So that means, like, we're doing Archan of Thakurji. Yeah, we're doing Archan of Thakurji so that we can do kirtan. We're doing parikrama, pada sevanam, right? We're doing parikrama of the holy places of the Lord. We're doing that so that we can get more taste in kirtan. Everything is just helping kirtan. That's the reason why we're doing it. That the center of everything is kirtan. Agni, that's how I'm understanding this, at least. Agni deho ghare shab na koriho bhoy, aji shab javaner korimu praloy. Do not be afraid, everybody. Go and set the house on fire. Today I will annihilate all the Yavanas. Dekhiya Prabhur Krodha Sarva Bhaktagan, Golai Bandhiya Vastra Porila Thakon. On seeing the Lord's anger, all the devotees wrapped cloth around their necks and fell at his feet. Urdhva Bahu Koriya Shakal Bhaktagan, Prabhur Charane Dhori Kore Nivedan. After raising their arms, the devotees grasped the Lord's feet and appealed to him as follows. Tomar Pradhana Angsha Prabhu Sankarshan, Tahar Akale Krodh Na Hoy Kokhon. Lord Sankarshan is your plenary portion. He never gets angry at an improper time. Jai Kale Hoibe Sarva Srishtir Sanghar, Sankarshana Krodehan Rudra Avatar. When it is time for the creation to be destroyed, Sankarshan becomes angry and assumes the form of Rudra. Jai Rudra Shakala Srishti Thoneke Sanghare Sheshete Ho Asi Mile Tomar Sharire. The same Rudra that annihilates the creation within a moment finally merges in your body. Ashangsher Krode Jar Shakal Sanghare She Tumi Korile Kroda Kona Jane Tore. When by the anger of the portion of your plenary portion everything is destroyed, who can possibly escape your anger? Akroda Paramananda Tumi Vede Gai, Veda Vakya Prabhu Ghuchaite Na Jujai. O Lord, it is not proper to neglect the statements of the Vedas which declare you are free from anger and eternally blissful. Brahmadi o tomar krodher nahe patra, srishti stiti pralay tomar lila matra. Even personalities like Brahma are not competent recipients for your anger. Creation, maintenance, and annihilation are simply your pastimes. Korilo to kajir aneka apaman, ar jadi ghate tabe sanghari ho pran. You have adequately insulted the Kazi. If he opposes the kirtan again, then you can kill him. Jai Vishwambar Maharaja Rajeshwar, Jai Sarva Lokanath, Shri Gaur Sundar. They further prayed, all glories to Vishwambar Maharaj, the controller of all controllers. All glories to Shri Gaur Sundar, the Lord of all universes. Jai Jai Ananta Shayana Ramakanta, Bahutuli Stuti Kore Shakal Mahanta. All glories to the Lord who lies on the bed of Ananta and who is the beloved Lord of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. In this way, all the devotees raised their arms and offered prayers. Hase Mahāprabhu Sarva Daser Vachane, Hari Boli Nritya Rase Chalila Tokhane. As Mahāprabhu listens to the prayers of his servants, He smiled. He then chanted the name of Hari and relished the ecstasy of dancing as he departed from that place. Kaji re koriya danda sarva lokarai, sankirtana rase sarva gane nachi jai. After punishing the Kazi, the Lord of all danced along with his associates in the ecstasy of Sankirtan. Mridanga mandira baje shanka karatal, Rama Krishna jai dwani Govinda Gopal. The devotees blew conch shells and played mridangas. The devotees blew conch shells and played mridangas, wampers, and kartals as they chanted, Jai Ram, Krishna, Govinda, Gopal. Kajir Banghia Ghar, Sarva Nagariya, Mahanande Hari Boli Jayen Nachiya. After breaking the Kazi's house, all the residents of Navadvīpa chanted the name of Hari and danced down the road in ecstasy. Pashandir hoilo parama chitta bhanga, Pashandi vishada bhave vaishnave ranga. The atheists' hearts were broken, and they became full of lamentation because of the devotees' jubilation. Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Vanamali, Gaishav Nagariya Diya Hate Tali. The residents of Navadvīpa clapped their hands and sang, Jai Krishna Mukunda Murari Vanamali. Jai Kolaholo Prati Nagare Nagare, Bhashaye Shakalok Ananda Sagare. As the auspicious vibration filled the entire city, everyone floated in an ocean of bliss. Keva kon dige nache, keva gai bai, heno nahi jani keva kon dige dhai. No one could tell who was dancing in which direction, who was singing, who was playing a musical instrument, or who was running in which direction. Age nritya koriya chaloe bhaktagan, sheshe chale Mahāprabhu Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. The devotees danced in the front, and Mahāprabhu, the son of Shachi, danced behind. Kirtaniya Brahma Shiv Ananta Apani, Nritya Kore Prabhu Vaishnaver Chudamani. Brahma, Shiva, and Ananta himself chanted as the Lord, who is the crest jewel of all Vaishnavas, danced. Ihate sandeha kichu na kori ho mane, she Prabhu kohiache kripai apane. The Lord has mercifully instructed everyone to not have any doubts about these pastimes. Ananta arbudalok shange vishwambhar, pravesha korila shankha banik nagar. Vishwambar, accompanied by innumerable millions of people, then entered the village of conchal merchants. Gaudiya Bhasha. After suppressing the Kazi's opposition to Sankirtan, Lord Sri Gaurasundar led the Kirtan party to the nearby village of conchal merchants. Shanka Vaniker Pure Uttilo Ananda, Hari Boli Bajai Mridanga Ghanta Shanka. The village of conchal merchants became filled with happiness as they chanted the names of Hari, blew conchals, played mridangas, and rang bells. Interesting. And so this description is a bit different than Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's that famous discussion that Mahāprabhu had with the Kazi. Very interesting. Pushpamoy pate nachi chale vishwambhar, chaturdike jwale deepa parama sundar. The road that Vishwambar danced along was covered with flowers, and most attractive torches burned in the four directions. She Chandre Shobha Kiba, kohibare pari, jahate kirtana kore Gauranga Shri Hari. I'm unable to describe the beauty of the moon. Sorry, I'm unable to describe the beauty of the moon under the illumination of which Lord Gaurahari performed his kirtan. Pratidware purna kumbha rambha amrasar, nari gane hari boli de jayakar. There were filled water pots, bananas, and mango leaves at every doorstep. The ladies made auspicious sounds and chanted the names of Hari. E mata shakal nagare shobha kore, aila thakur tantu vayer nagare. After gracing the entire village in this way, the Lord went to the village of weavers. Gaudiya Bhashya. From the village of conch shell merchants, the Lord went to the village of weavers. The village of weavers is still present today. Yeah, that's something like I went on Bengal Prachar with Tirthamaj 3 years in a row. And so every like 2 or 3 days, we would go from Kartik time all the way till till Gaur Purnima time, like Navadvīpa Purkama time. We would like every 2 or 3 days, we'd go to another village. And in each village, everybody in the village would do one thing. Like one group of people, they would make fishing nets. Everybody in the village would make fishing nets. And then you'd go to the next village and everybody would make like these like foam decoration things, not foam, but like what you see at marriages and weddings, like that. And then you'd go to another village and the entire village just made gumshas. Here in Navadvīpa, like where I am, the people make gumshas here. So each village makes a particular thing. And there'll be like one person who's like in charge of all the trade and everything in the village, and he'll be really rich and everybody will be really poor. That's kind of how, but so that it's been like that since the time of Mahāprabhu. I mean, it's still like that now. Uthilo mangala dvani jai kola holo, tantu vaishab hoila anande vivol. As the tumultuous vibration of auspicious sounds arose, the weavers became overwhelmed in ecstasy. Nachisham nagariya diya karatali, hari bolo mukunda gopala vanamali. All the residents of Navadvīpa clapped their hands as they danced and chanted, Hari bol, mukunda gopala vanamali. Another interesting thing about the villages is everybody in each village will have the same last name. So you'll go in one village and everybody in the village, all of their names will be whatever Mandal, like Mandal will be the last name of everybody in the village. It's not just like family by family. I remember that because we would go from house to house collecting receipts and everybody would pledge how much rice they wanted to donate. And so we'd write down their names. And I was like, oh my God, every single person here is a Mandal in every house throughout the entire village. And then we'd go to another village and it'd be a different name. Sarva mukhe hari naam shuni prabhu hase, nachiya chalila prabhu Śrīdharer vase. The Lord smiled as he heard the name of Hari emanate from everyone's mouth. The Lord then danced down the road to the residence of Śrīdhar. Gaudiya Bhashya. From the village of the weavers, Sri Gaurasundar went to Śrīdhar's courtyard. Bhanga eka ghara matra Śrīdharer vas, uthari lagiya prabhu tahar avas. The Lord then entered Śrīdhar's house, which consisted of one broken room. Shave ek loha patra achaye duare, koto thai tali taha ho chore na. Wait. Huh? Okay. Taha ho chore o na hore. Sorry, I don't know. I got confused with this one. At Śrīdhar's doorway, he had one iron water pot that had been repaired a number of times. Even a thief would not steal it. It was like trash. Nritya kore Mahāprabhu Śrīdhar angane, jal purna patra prabhu dekhila apane. As Mahāprabhu danced in Śrīdhar's courtyard, he saw that pot of water. Bhakta Prem, Bhakta Prem Bhujaite Śrī Sachinandan Loha Patra Tuli Loilen Tatakhon Jal Piye Mahaprabhu Sukhe Apanar Kar Shakti Ache Taha Noi Koribar Morilo Boli Takai Śrīdhar. I'll die. Mor Samharite She Aila Mor Ghar. To display his love for his devotees, Sri Shachinandan suddenly picked up that iron water pot. Mahaprabhu then drank the water from that pot in his own ecstasy. Who had the power to stop him? Śrīdhar exclaimed, I am finished! I am finished! He has come to my house to kill me. Morilo, mori sangharite she aila morukar. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahaprabhu happily drank water from Śrīdhar's old iron pot. On seeing Gaur Sundar take service without asking, poor Śrīdhar blamed his fortune, which was the result of his poverty, and said, I could not properly welcome Shri Gaur Sundar. Therefore, he has forcibly drunk water from my broken water pot to kill me, to inflict my heart with distress. Poliya murchita hoila sukriti Śrīdhar, Prabhu bole shudhamor aji kalevar. After speaking in this way, the pious Śrīdhar lost consciousness. The Lord then said, Today my body has become purified. Aji mor bhakti hoilo Krishner charane, Śrīdharer jalapana korilo jokhone. Today, by drinking Śrīdhar's water, I have attained devotion for the lotus feet of Krishna. Gaudiya Bhashya. After Gaur Sundar drank water from Śrīdhar's old water pot and heard the statements of Śrīdhar, his propensity for serving Krishna awakened. His forgetfulness of Krishna was destroyed, and since he was fixed in the service of the Supreme Lord without looking for external happiness, his body was purified. Janardhan is bhavgrahi, or appreciative of one's sentiments. He doesn't take the offering. It's not about the offering itself. He takes the sentiments with which the offering is given. He takes the bhav. He accepts the bhav of the offering. Rather than being served with the opulences of this material world, he accepts the living entity's non-duplicitous, heartfelt service. Ekhone she Vishnu bhakti hoilo amar, kohite pore nayaner dhara. The Lord said, Now I have attained devotional service to Vishnu. Vishnu bhakti hoilo amar. After saying these words, tears flowed from his eyes. Vaishnaver jalpane Vishnu bhakti hoy, sabare bhujai Prabhu Gauranga sadai. The merciful Lord Gauranga revealed to everyone that one attains devotional service to Vishnu by drinking a Vaishnav's water. Gaudiya Bhashya. As stated, Grihniyad Vaishnavaj Jalam. One should accept water from a Vaishnav. By drinking the remnants of a Vaishnav's water, devotional service to Vishnu is awakened. Ordinary people consider that all possessions of a kinchan are a materially exhausted person. Sai. Okay, sai. This sentence is strange. Ordinary people consider that all possessions of an akinchan, or someone who is a materially exhausted Vaishnav, have some value, except his insignificant water, which they neglect as worthless. But no, even the Vaishnav's water can give Prem Bhakti. Can give Bhakti. In the Padma Puran Adi-khanda 31.112, it is stated, Pratayed Vaishnavasyanam prayatnena vichakshana sarva papa vishuddhartham tad abhave jalam pibet. To become freed from all sinful reactions, learned persons should sincerely beg for the Lord's remnants, foods offered by Vaishnavas, or the Vaishnav's remnants, the Lord's remnants or the Vaishnav's remnants? If one is unable to obtain those, he should drink the remnants of a Vaishnav's water, or the water that has washed his feet. Bhakata Vatsalya Deki Sarva Bhakta Gan Sabar Uthilo Maha Ananda Krandan. When the devotees saw the Lord display his affection for his devotee, they all began to cry in great ecstasy. Nityananda Gadadhar Porila Kandiya Advaita Shivasa Kande Bhumite Poriya. Nityananda, Gadadhar, Advaita, and Shivas all fell to the ground crying. Kande Haridasa Ganga Dasa Vakreshwar. Murari Mukunda Kande Shri Chandra Shekhar. Haridas, Gangadas, Vakreshwar, Murari, Mukunda, and Shri Chandrasekhar all began to cry. Govinda, Govindananda, Shri Garbha Shriman, Kande Kashishwar, Shri Jagarananda Ram. Govinda, Govindananda, Shri Garbha Shriman, Kashishwar, Shri Jagarananda, and Ram also began to cry. Jagadish Gopinath, Kanden Nandan, Shuklambar Garuda Kandai Sarvajan. Jagadish, Gopinath, Nandanacharya, Shuklambar, Garuda, and many others all began to cry. Lakhakoti loka kande shire diyahat, Krishna re thakur mor anather nath. Millions of people held their heads, cried, and exclaimed, "Oh, dear Krishna! Oh, my Lord! Oh, Lord of the helpless! Krishna re thakur mor anather nath. Ki hoilo bolite nari Śrīdharer vashe, sarva bhave prem bhakti hoilo prakashe." I am unable to describe what happened at Śrīdhar's house, where loving devotional service was fully manifested. Krishna boli kande sarva jagata harishe, sankalpa hoilo siddhi gora chandra hase. As everyone cried and chanted the name of Krishna in ecstasy, Gora Chandra smiled, for his mission was fulfilled. Dekho shab bhai e bhakter mahima, bhakta vatsalyer prabhu korilen asima. Oh, brothers, just see the glories of the devotees. The Lord displays his greatest affection for his devotees. Loha jala patra tate bahirer jal parama adare pana kohilen shakal. It was an iron water pot filled with water meant for external use. Oh, this is water meant for external use also. Bahirer jal. It wasn't like water for drinking. Yet the Lord most affectionately drank all of it. Gaudiya Bhashya. Iron is the cheapest metal. Such an iron pot had become worn after prolonged use. Moreover, it was meant for external use. To demonstrate that through spiritual vision from the transcendental point of view, the material conception of poverty and destitution is an impediment in the devotional service of the Lord drank water from the broken iron water pot of the poor Śrīdhar, and thus taught the entire world how to respect and honor devotees. Okay, we're finished now. This is the last verse, the last two verses. No Gaudiya Bhashya. Thank you for letting me go a couple minutes over time. Paramarte pana icha hoilo jokhone, sudhamrita bhakta jal hoilo tokhone. When the Lord developed a transcendental desire to drink, that devotee's water became the purest nectar. Bhakti bhujaite she emata patre jal, paramarte vaishnaver shakal nirmal. The Lord drank water from such a pot to reveal the glories of devotional service and to show that from the spiritual point of view, everything belonging to a Vaishnav is pure. Okay, so that is our reading for today. We'll continue reading the glories of the Vaishnavas. I think the rest of the chapter is glories of the Vaishnava. Man, when it comes to the topic of Śrīdhar, remember before during the Lord's Mahaprakash, the Sat Prahariya Bhav. Remember that whole description of Śrīdhar there, and now the description of Śrīdhar here. It's just so overwhelming. All right, so I'll end for today. Tomorrow, we only have, today we read over 6,000 words. So we had an extra long reading today, but I think maybe 7,000 words actually. But tomorrow we only have 4,000 words to read from Caitanya-bhāgavata to the end of the chapter. And I thought I wanted to read extra today so that tomorrow we could finish the chapter and then read a little bit about Madhvacharya, whose appearance day I think it is tomorrow. Appearance or disappearance? Disappearance. It says disappearance day tomorrow. Right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shata Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Varanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shila Guru Dev Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shila Bhakti Varanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shata Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Varanta Swami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shata Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishtam Vishnupara Shata Rashita Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Mahābhāgavata Śrīla Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupananda Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Shard Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Namachaya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ki Jai Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai Jai Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai The Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai The Lord's first Adi Sankirtan procession Ki Jai The Lord's subduing the Kazi Ki Jai all the devotees in all the villages of Nadia Ki Jai Kolavecha Śrīdhar Ki Jai Jai Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Sa Parshad Shri Gaur Hari Jai Jai Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pada Devi Satyavataya Namo Maha Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hare Krishna, Nri Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji. Devangna, I always have a hard time saying your name. I'm sorry, I must be mispronouncing your name. Sorry about that. Shubhananda Prabhu, Subhadra Didi, and Champak Mataji. And let's see, Madhusudan Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, Sudevi Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Hari Priya Didi, and I see a bunch of other devotees. If you write a comment, then I can see who you are. But Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll see you all tomorrow to read about Madhvacharya, and we will complete this chapter. I think the rest of the chapter describes the glories of devotees in the context of Śrīdhar. Yeah, Kolavecha Śrīdhar, I think. Right. Hare Krishna, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Does anybody have anything they want to mention before I end the stream? All right. See you all tomorrow. Hari Bol.